the start of a club match today. I'm fishing with the Mendip Nomads, and we're at Landsend Fishery. We're on the middle lake, I'll call lake number 2. It has got a name, but I can never remember it. And I didn't have a chance to do my little pre-match chat, so I'll give it to you now. So I've drawn peg 19, which is a peg I've had before on this lake. I think the last time I did it was the winter, actually. I don't think I've got a video on it. I think it was before I was doing videos. In fact, there was an open match on. There's only 10 of us fishing today, so there's plenty of room. It's quite, a quiet little knock up. For those who watched my last video, I'm bowling out again, and you can see there the repair on my number 6 section. So hopefully it's going to be all right. So I'm feeding this long line out here with some big balls of ground bait, which is what's not normally done here. But I like to be different sometimes. This throwaway line. I've just got a dark ground bait mix here. I'm just going to put 2 or 3 big balls in, be positive. So what I was trying to say was there was an open match on here yesterday, 50 odd pound won it. In fact, the gentleman that won it's fishing the match today, his name's Dave, he's a friend of mine. He's fishing on the opposite bank. Peg 1, I think, drawn a good peg apparently. And 50 odd pound, so we're obviously not looking for massive weight today. Anyone who's not fished Landsend in the last sort of 12 months might not realise that it's under new ownership. Lots of things have changed here. There's a lot of small fish been introduced into this venue this year, back end of last year maybe actually. It was the last lockdown, about a year ago it was introduced. Lots of F1s, lots of crucians, lots of tench. You may have seen me catching them on my 3-day festival down here. So with the club today, there's only 10 of us, so we're just fishing top overall weight, top silvers weight. And with that in mind, I kind of thought, well, unless I draw an absolute carp flying peg, which this may or may not be because I don't know the venue well enough, then I'm just going to fish for silvers. And those crucians, those little F1s, those tench actually count as silvers on this venue. You don't want to keep them in a separate net. You can't swing any of them. You've got to net everything. They're the rules. So what I'm doing is I'm just doing a little line of 3 balls. This is a throwaway line out of the way. Let that settle for at least an hour. Like I did at shipwreck the other day. Nobody else will be doing this. Everyone else will be touchy, softly. Now I'll be doing touchy, softly. Slightly shorter. Just going to put my bait in on top now, so I know how much bait's gone down that line. So there's a lot of ground bait going in, but not a lot of feed, and I'm just going to put the feed in afterwards. So I'm going to be doing softly, which is what you'll see me do next, which is just 2 sections off, fishing with the number 6 section in hand. So the recently broken section is going to be the section that's in hand. That's handy. There's the repair for anybody who's interested. It's a bit rough and ready because it's for me. If I was doing it for somebody else, it would have been a bit tidier, but I'm not too worried. So what was I saying? Yes. So I'm going to do a softly approach. That's what you're going to see now. I'm going to start with an expander on the hook, number 4 mil, and then with my little kinder pots, which you've seen before. And just going to start off with a little kinder pot. Not even really run to the top. 1 mil soaked. They're not quite as soaked as I normally soak them because I'm not doing any method fishing today because it's banned here. So I'll soak them up a bit more if I might use them on the method, but not happening here today. What I've found is it's ever so slightly deeper. Just on this section here than everywhere else, like a float length deep. It's the deepest part of the swim by float length, so it makes me think that fish probably feed here. So with that in mind, I'm just going to feed that gently and see if I can get a couple of bites off it quickly. Might need to put some grease on my float by the looks of it, 'cause it's gone right down already, but we'll see. That may be an indication straight away. What was I saying? Yeah, so my thinking is, well, this must be a spot that fish feed on, so maybe some feed went in there from the match yesterday, maybe there's fish already feeding there, maybe, you know, so I don't want to put loads of feed in. It's winter as well, I don't want to put loads of feed in, so I shall sit on top of that little cup of pellet now until I get a bite, or until I don't get a bite for ages, and then I'll have to change something. I've got maggots. I could feed sometimes I could feed expander down that hole if micros they don't want, and I've got dead maggots, live maggots. I've even got pinkies with me. I've got a lighter rig to use on this line with like a number 7 elastic and little tiny hook, little Preston silverfish light hook, yeah, SFL, size 20, just sort of silly line in case I can't get a bite. I can switch this to maggots if it doesn't work, but this is sort of my opening gambit. Let's see what's down there, and just go gently, softly. But all the time we've got that positive line out there, which might be gathering some silvers on it, some carp on it. It might gather skimmers on it, carp on it. It might gather anything on it. I don't know. It might gather nothing. It might have blown it already. But that's why I've done it out of the way from where I'm expecting to catch most of my fish, which is shorter. No thanks. I'm all right. Cheers. You all right? I'm all right. Thanks. Yeah. Cheers, pal. Cheers. That's just the bay leaf coming round. Here the bay leaf will walk around and see if you want anything to bring in for your lunch, which is nice. You can have a bacon sandwich or a sausage sandwich if you want. Do it on all the open matches and all the club matches, but I'm trying to lose a few stones, so probably not wise. So judging by the start that we've had here, it's going to be hard. So I'll turn you off for a bit. You've kind of got the gist of where we are, what we're doing, and guys, hooked something and pulled straight out of it, gone back out, and I've hooked what I think is a carp, if I'm totally honest. Very lethargic. It's definitely not a small silverfish like I thought it was going to be. It's a little ghosty by the looks of it. I've not got the right way on today to weigh carp, so because I didn't feel like it was going to be a big carp day, but I've got my clicker out, so I can just put £3 on for him and be safe. He's a £3. I don't think I'm going to. I don't feel like I'm going to bag up on carp, but I think that's the second one I've hooked in a couple of puts. Right guys, we're like 20 minutes later, maybe 25 minutes later, and we've hooked another carp on that line. So far, all we've hooked on that line is carp. We've had a few perch. Well, we had a perch, sorry, on the maggot, and I was trying the maggot. And I keep missing bites and I keep thinking what's going on, but I think what it is the carp in the swim, and I've got such a sensitive float on that I'm just missing, like, you know, liners, because the float's bobbing up and down with a 1mm bristle on, because I'm set up for silvers here, you see. So, you know, I could have fouled up this one because it could have been a liner, but we'll find out. He seems to be putting up a better fight than the last one. He's come out, it's a foul locker. Yeah, it's a foul locker because I shouldn't be pulling out of him with this light elastic on. I'm going to put a bigger hook bait on this time and see if I can get a better bite off one of these fish. Right guys, we're coming up to the 1 hour update. And that sort of gently line out in front of me that I told you about, where I found it slightly deeper, I've just been tapping in tiny amounts of micros and then putting expanders over the top. And I've had a nice carp. I've had a £3 carp, not a nice carp, but a £3 carp. And I've had not a lot else. I've foul hooked 3 fish over there, lost all 3 of them, and I've had a perch when I tried a maggot. But down to my left here, I'm not sure if it's in the camera shot, but top kit, getting 4. So far, all the mats have just been flicking in. Pinch of maggots every time I ship back or every time I remember. And I thought, oh, I've got me slowly sinking rig, and I'll just try and I'll put a single maggot on my little gentle rig, little 2.2 gram. And this is sort of dropping through the full depth of the water column. I've had 2 nice little plump roach on it, so I've just put another little tiny ball of micros out on the gently like line down the middle, sort of top fishing number 6 section rig. And I just thought I'd have a little look down here, see if I can get another couple of roach. Don't think it's ready to empty it yet. The wind's just decided to blow vigorously straight at me, which means my rig doesn't want to stay in the same spot. And then I'm going to grab a couple from here, and then I might go over on my on the 2 bites I've missed while I've been talking to you guys, and then I'm going to go over on my more aggressively fed line that where I put 3 balls of ground bait at the start, and just see whether anything's settled over that, because no one's catching loads that I can see anyway, or that I've noticed, although based on recent performance of me watching other anglers, you know, it's questionable whether I'm got a clue what's going on half the time. You can swing roach in this venue. You can't swing the other added silvers, but you can swing the roach. So they're nice and plump. That's the smallest out. That's the 3rd roach I've had, and that's the smallest. You know, if I get another couple, I might have a pound of silvers with my little roach, my little perch. I'm trying to resist the temptation to feed it more aggressively because I'm on it, because there's roach there from the roach are sitting there from my sort of intermittent feeding, so I don't want to change my feeding while I'm on it, because it might change the way they're feeding. I'm catching them at the minute, so I might have to fiddle around with it until I can work out what's best. So there we are. I've got a £3 carp. I might have a pound of bits now. So I've got 3 nice roach and a perch. So I've got £4, which, if everybody weighed in right now, probably put me up there with a few, because I think a couple of people got 1 carp. Another decent fish just gone into the net to the right of me, so there might be a few people on more than 1 carp. So an hour and a half in, guys. I've just gone back down my middle line. I went over on my long line, I had a crucian. Couldn't get anything else. I've just got back down on me. We've got a touchy line. I've just hooked something in the. This feels like it's hooked in the pile. It's not swimming off uncontrollably. It's usually a sign it's hooked in the pile. I'm just going to tip the camera down for you to get a better view then. I mean, I could lift him up now if I wanted, but I'm just taking my time. There's no point rushing in. And if I get him in, it'll be only the 2nd decent carp fish I've hooked in an hour and a half. So, sorry, landing. I just need to get him in the net. Not even stripped any elastic out yet, just waiting for him to surface. Undergoing steam. He's not a big fish, just a little 2 or 3 pounder, but that's what we'll take at this point. Oh, I thought I had him. I thought I had him, not missed him. Oh, I was lifting the net up then thinking I've got my prize right, but I've stripped now. So I woke him up a bit there. He's bigger than I thought he was. He might be 4 or 5 pound actually. I'm getting his nose into my keep nets. Otherwise he might shove the hook into the keep net. Yeah, I've definitely woken him up now. He's a bit bigger than I thought. He's nice, really golden. Golden mirror. Did have a fish that was coming in lovely and steady, and now we've got a fish that's gone off its head. I was going to land him with no strips, and he's now on 3 strips, and he's still pulling elastic out. And I've got to be careful now. I'm getting towards the limit of what this rig can handle. Got him. There we go. 3rd scoop, lucky. £4, isn't he? Beautiful, fully scaled. Can't boys with like him, apart from his stubby tail. Just on the outside of the mouth as well. I'm going to give myself 4 for him. He might be 5, but I'm going to give myself 4. So, there we are, hour and a half in, just over hour and a half. We've got a £7 a carp, maybe £1.50 a little bits and bobs. Right guys, 2-hour update. We're doing 5-hour match today because it's winter now. So we've only got 5 hours, we've got 3 hours to go. I topped up it. I went down the middle again, nothing. On my short, on the middle line, deepest water. Put a bit of micro in there, left it for a bit. And I've gone back out on the ground bait lines on. Off camera, I've put another ball of ground bait in with a pinch of maggots and pellets and what have you. And I'm catching plenty of roach out there at the moment on the deck. Well, sort of strung out. It's a strung out shotting pattern, double maggot. I'm catching small fish. Can't seem to get to the bottom and catch anything bigger at the moment, but I'm just going to take a few small fish while I can. I'm not feeding anything out there, just fishing over that ball that is already out there, or those balls that are already out there. And obviously there's a few roach settled on. I'd have thought if there was any better fish settled, I'd have had a few by now. But it's bites at the minute. Ollie's just had a nice fish on the peg to my left. It took him a while to get it out. Thought it was foul up, but I don't think it was in the end. I think he's just fishing light. So there's odd fish, odd people having fish a bit like me. I've had odd carp. I mean, with a bit of different sort of look, I could have had a few more carp because I've sort of foul up 3 and could have got them out, one of them out or something, and that would have been nice. But you can't expect to catch to land foul up fish. Just a bonus if you land a foul up fish, really. And I'm fishing quite light, and so the little hooks and that I'm going to pull out on these foul hooks fishing. If you're not hooked them properly, you're not going to land them. My setup, because I'm really targeting silvers, but at the moment I can't even catch those. They're not proper ones anyway. There's plenty of fish in front of me. I'm getting my float's going up and down like the proverbial yo-yo out there over the top of the feed. Just trying to hook something that's not a pair of eyeballs really at the moment. It's the float's completely lifted out of the water then. Settled again now. It's got to the bottom now, so hopefully we'll have a bite from something better. I was putting 3 maggots on and I was waiting a while for a bite and catching a roach. So I've switched to 2 maggots, but it seems like 2 maggots won't get down. So I'm going to see if when it's down the deck I get a better fish, or whether I'm better off just sticking with this dropping through the water rig for a bit and just catching something. Very much hard work at the moment to get any sort of run of fish together. I feel like it's going to be a last hour. Can you catch something in the last hour job? Well guys, we're 3 hours in and I've just gone down to my left hand swim where I've been chucking maggots just on my little tiny, I've got a little tiny rig here. Got very light I've got very light hook length on. I've got a little tiny 20 silverfish hook, number 7 elastic, and I've gone and up me a carp. He's had me right all the way over the far bank. I've got the pole out, but I'm just dumping the pole under the water now. Hoping that I'm not freaking him out too much by not pulling him up, but just pulling him towards me and just trying to get some elastic back. He's actually been all the way out to the gap in the island. I went out with a pole and he went out to there, and then I thought he was going to break me, but he didn't. He turned. I was literally waiting for him to break me because I was only on I got an 11 AccuPower lock length, which is like £2.5. And so I thought, oh, I'm never going to get him back. But he's come back. I can't really work him too hard, but you know, it doesn't matter, because the only person I've seen catch any number of fish was Ollie on the 2 pegs to my left. He's had a run of about 5 or 6 in 5 or 6 putts. I'm told that peg one and the fellow opposite me had a few on the silverfish. I don't know if they had carp or not. There's not a lot coming out, so I just need to try and make this carp count if it's hooked properly. I feel like I've got a chance now. Taken most of the, you know, I've taken its first run out of it. I need to be lucky now that it don't do anything crazy and that it's hooked properly. See if we can get lucky and scoop him as soon as he pops his head up. Going back down where I hooked him at the minute, which I don't really want to do because I was hoping I've fed that 2 or 3 times while playing the fish just to try and prime it for the next fish in case there's another one there. It's hard to know if he's any size or not, so I ain't seen him. And you can't tell how hard you pull in with his elastics, it's so soft. Can't tell how powerful they are or not. Oh, I don't know if he's hooked properly or not. Hard to tell him. I don't think he is properly hooked, but we've got him. No, he's foul hooked. Like the petrol fin there. Surprised I got him out with such a small lock on. Actually got a scale. Look. So lucky that was. This is the £4 though. Right guys, I went back out over the ground bait line where I actually fed another 5th board of ground bait and some maggots and some pellets and all sorts. The big bunch of 3 maggots on. It's finally gone under. Look something. So that means we've had a carp off all 3 lines now. So they've all been worth having. We've had to work really hard to sort of keep anything coming. Just keep weight ticking over. This is the first rig that's kind of easily powerful enough to deal with these fish. So there's another £3. I'm going to give myself 4 for him because then that rounds up any extra weight. So I've got £15 in there. Half an hour to go. I'm down to basically, I've got the same rig fishing it down to my right, fishing it down to my left, on the right hand side. I've fed maggots heavily, like big potted them. And my left hand side, I've fed meat sparingly. Like 6 mil cubes of meat. I don't know, I've probably put 5 or 6 in 3 or 4 times. On this right hand line where the maggots have gone in, it's catching roach, little waspy perch, and I've just had a very small F1 off it as well. But if I don't lay the rig in, if I don't just dump the rig in, I lay it in flat, let it drop in slowly, and I just get bitted out. I just keep getting eyeball wasp, wasp roach and small, so waspy perch and small roach. Whereas if I just sort of dump it straight down the hole, gets to the bottom, occasionally I'll get a better roach, or I could just add in an F1. Which is nice. So I think there are obviously some better fish sitting over the maggots that I've big potted in, and the smaller ones sitting over the top, intercepting anything that's coming down, and just generally causing me grief. There's one more little put in the last put on the right hand light swim, and then I'm going to go over the left hand swim with a meat, see if we can't catch. There we are. That's what we've got to watch out for on this line. You get a lot of these. Get a lot of them sort of things. So I'm going to go left on the left hand swim where I've only had one fish over it so far, but I've only actually fished it quickly for 5 minutes, and the float went under after a couple of minutes of waiting, and I thought, oh, we're going to catch some better fish from down there at the end, maybe, challenge for the overall positions. But it was a skimmer, which was nice. And then if I can catch 4 or 5 of them in the last, not getting any indications this time. Last time I put the rig in and I had a couple of indications by now, obviously liners, but it was obviously there was a fish there, and you eventually had the piece of lunch meat, but at the moment, nothing. I've caught fish of every single line I've fished today. Just a little blink on the float there and we're in. That's a carp. So every line I've fished today I've caught on. I've caught some fish over all the lines that I've put bait on and put rigs over, which is nice. I've caught a lot of fish in total. It's been a tough day, but I'm going to try and force this one in quickly because I ain't got much time left. He seems to think he's going to get back into the snags down there, but I've got other ideas. He's trying very hard to get under my platform then. I've got to account for himself. Hopefully he's a better fish. Just the float just blinked. And I sort of instinctively struck. Probably, if I'd had a bit of a moment to think about it, I wouldn't have struck, because I thought it was a liner, but it's not a liner. It's a carpy. Little 3-pounder. That's a size that a lot of there's a lot of fish in here that size now. I'm going to just top this swim up with a few more bits of meat. I might go straight back on it. I feel like I need to give myself a chance of something. So just a sample of meat, that's all I'm putting in. I'll actually put something on this right hand line as well. I'm really going to have time to fish it probably, but Maybe that will be something that the better fish can feed on if they aren't in maggots. That was interesting, wasn't it? So it puts me on for £18 a carp. Oh, it's a little indication now. It's going to leave it another 30 seconds or so. Just lifted a little. Definitely something in the swim now. I'm going to give it another minute. Oh, it's just a little tick. Just had a little wobble. So it's just wobbled. I'm definitely going to leave it now for another minute or so. I think it could be a perch nobbling at the meat. They do like that. Do like a bit of meat, the perch in here, but I'm going to say it was a better fish, like a skimmer or a carp. It's been a tough match. I don't know how much footage I've got for you. Not a lot's happened. Say five carp, and I think I've showed you them all. Look at that. That little indication kept me there, else I'd have come off that. I wouldn't have up with the carp. Hopefully I'm going to get him out. He's gone right out there. He could be foul up the way he's pulling. Really pulling like a good one. Hopefully he's either a big fish or he's foul. I'd rather he's a big fish than foul up, obviously, but it could be either of those two things. It's fighting a lot harder than the last fish did. Yeah, I think he looked in the mouth just by the way he's banging. Little head bangs, so I felt a few head bangs then. I think one of the beefier residents, I think a lot of the bigger fish have been taken out of this venue recently, so when they added the smaller fish, they've also moved the fish stocks around and moved a lot of the bigger fish out of this lake. Not all of them, but quite a significant portion of them were moved to the other lakes. So there's not as many of the real big muntery ones in here like there used to be. I think there's still a few. I don't think it's all 3 pounders. I don't think it's all 3 pounders and F1s. He's going to go account for himself, this boyo. Struggling to get his head up, so I don't know if he is foul up or not. It's pointing weird. A bit of a wiggle to him. He's one of the bigger residents. That's why he's fighting a bit harder. Happy days. Still got time for one more if we're with a bit of luck. Got about 10 minutes left, I think. Maybe. Definitely going to just sit it out in this left hand swim now for the rest of the match. Nearly got to the platform again then. Oh yeah, they get the power from. I do getting him in because I could do get another one really. can't be hooked in the chops. Yeah, we got him. Oh, maybe he's a good one. He's a good 6 or 7 pounder he is. Hooked fair and square. 6 or 7 pounder. That's going to put us on about £25 now. So really quickly put 3 or 4 bits of meat in. Too many because I don't want fish to have too many options. Yeah, definitely.